Hey guys, if you haven't already, give the video a like, subscribe to my channel. This is a what if series and I'll be doing more down the road. Plus Ultra!
Hey guys, welcome to a brand new What If series entitled What If Goku Landed in Fairy Tale. Now, this has been one of the most what if stories that I wanted to do for a long time, ever since I've put up that teaser trailer on my account. Thinking about back then, I was just contemplating and trying to brainstorm of what I thought Goku's life would be like if he landed in Fairy Tale. So, not the Earth that we all know Goku landed on. What if this was different? What if he landed in the world of Fairy Tale where people use magic, even though Goku has no elemental power for magic? So let's get back on topic. Now, all the events would play out the same with Burdock and Gine sending Goku, well as they know him, Kakarot, and as we all know him, Goku, and for namesake, that's what I'm going to refer to him as, just until the Saiyans arrive. Anyway, they would send Goku to a planet called Earth, where they had the intentions that he would at least have a good life on this planet and someday avenge his fallen race. Well, that's what his father would think. His mother just wanted him to live a normal life. So Goku's space pod would crash land in Fiore on the outskirts of Fiore, and this would alert an elderly man by the name of Grandpa Gohan. Yeah, put him in this story. So Grandpa Gohan would find Goku and try to take care of him, but as we know, Goku was very problematic due to his Saiyan nature until he fell off a cliff and bumped his head, and this would turn him into the Goku we all know and love. Grandpa Gohan would teach Goku martial arts and a technique that took him years to master, the Kamehameha wave, which Goku, just by seeing it, mastered it in a few seconds. So this would be around the time Goku's age would be at like 10 years old, and the same events would play out with Goku transforming into a great ape and accidentally killing his grandpa. So the next 2 years, Goku would wander on his own just until he ran into a place called Fairytale. Around this time, Goku would be 12 years old, and he would gaze at this guild, smelling some interesting food that was coming from the building. He then was greeted by an elderly man. Hey there, do you want to come inside, young one? Um, Ooh, what's a fairy tale? What's a fairy tale? Goku would say, and he would turn his head to look at the short man, and he would say, "Who are you?" And he would say, "Who are you, mister?" Goku would ask, looking clueless at the stranger because he didn't look familiar at all. "Why, I'm Makarov, the master of this guild. If you don't mind me asking, where are your parents?" Makarov would raise an eyebrow at this as to why a little kid such as himself would be out here all by his lonesome. Goku would then state, well, I'm by myself. I don't have anyone else. Ever since my grandpa Gohan died, I've been traveling and wandering alone." Makarov would then say, "Well, so you don't have anyone to take care of you. Where have you been living at all this time?" "Well, I've just been hunting and living in the woods in the forest of the outskirts of this town. I never came in here because I haven't had a reason to, so I've always stuck to my training." And Makarov would look at Goku, and he wouldn't sense any kind of magic power in his body. The only thing that Makarov would be able to sense is the ki in his body, and his ki was very potent and powerful. Like, for a kid, Goku could do some impressive things. Well, that's what Makarov was thinking, and he wanted to test this theory out. But he didn't want Goku spending his life in the wilderness. So Makarov, with a kind heart, like he does every other person that would have come into the Fairy Tail Guild, he tells Goku, "Come in. You might like what you see, and you might meet some interesting people." So Goku would follow Makarov with the smell of food on his mind. And this would be before the time Natsu would even get there. So Goku would go in and he would meet everyone in this photo that you see here. He would meet the Mary Jane, where the Mary Jane I liked when she was a little kid. I don't know what happened to her when she grew up. I guess her sister's death, Luzana, did a number on her. He would meet Grateful Buster. He would meet Kanna. He would meet Luzana. He would meet Loxus, although Loxus didn't pay Goku any mind or any attention. He would meet Urza, which Urza seemed strong, and Goku looked at Urza with a very tempting look as Makarov was telling Goku, "Do you want something to eat?" But Goku didn't hear what Makarov said as because he was looking at Urza, and Urza would just look at Goku and say, "Do you want something? My name's Urza Scarlet, and what's your name?" And he would look at her and say, I'm Goku, and you seem really strong. Would you like to fight me?" Urza would raise an eyebrow and say, "Maybe later, Goku." And this is where Mary Jane would come out of nowhere and say, "So what's wrong? Why don't you want to fight him? Are you a weakling?" And they would get into a little scuffle with Goku just scratching his head and say, "Aw, what about you? Do you want to fight me?" And Mary Jane would look at Goku and say, "Oh, so you want some of this short stuff?" And Goku said, "Yeah, getting into a fighting stance. I like fighting strong people. Let's see what you got." And Mary Jane and Goku would engage in a battle, and this would happen in the Fairy Tale Guild Hall. If you know anything about Fairy Tale, is that when a fight breaks out, everyone breaks out, but they fight for fun, I guess, in that anime. That's why it's so interesting to watch. So Goku and Mary Jane would get into a brawl between each other. Urza would come in and try to break it up. Accidentally, Goku would punch her in the face, and Urza's eyes she would just get mad. And she would look at Goku with a very ferocious look, and Goku would sweat a little bit, saying, "Yeah, that pissed her off." And now Mary Jane, Goku, and Urza would engage in a three-way battle with Grateful Buster saying, "Don't leave me out." And Makarov, he's just smiling, sensing that Goku will fit right in with everyone else here. And Lox is just saying, "Another weakling," and walks away. So Goku would be out looking at the little poster board, and it would have these missions on it when he got done handling with Urza and them. So he would say, "All these are D rank missions. They don't really much seem to have any goals to them. I mean, I could earn money, which I don't have any at the moment." "And you sure know your stuff, young one," as Makarov walked beside Goku. And he said, "Yeah, my grandpa didn't know much, but he did teach me a lot. I mean, I'm not making Goku as much of an idiot. I'm just making him somewhat average. So, say for example, Goku is gonna be clueless at some things in this series, but he's not gonna be clueless about what the poster board is because his grandpa, in his training, I'm gonna have little flashbacks back when Goku was training with his grandpa. But in his training, Grandpa Gohan would have these specific mission board for Goku to do and for Goku to learn and basically get his training up par. And that's how Goku was familiar with this poster board. And Goku would ask Master Makarov, and he'd say, "Mr. Makarov," and he said, "Just call me Master Makarov." "Oh, okay, Master Makarov. What's this board? What's this board about? Is this some kind of training regiment you have for these guys here?" And Goku would just turn his head, or is it something different? Master Makarov would say, "Yeah, these are missions. We put these missions on there where the citizens ask us for our help, and we send various amounts of people from our guild who wants to take apart these missions, where it ranges from low class missions to S class missions." And Goku would say, "So are the S class missions really tough?" And Makarov would look at Goku and say, "Oh yeah, they are." And Goku would smile at this, and he would look at Master Makarov and say, "Can I do an S class mission?" "I don't think you would be ready for an S-class mission, young one." And Goku would say, "Oh, come on. What do you mean I wouldn't be ready for it? The thrill to fight someone strong, it just excites me." And Makarov would look at Goku and say, "So, what S-class mission do you have your eyes on?" Well, I've heard about this. You have it up here, the Red Ribbon Army. I've heard that they've been terrorizing people, and I've kind of wanted to destroy their base. I just wanted to put an end to them because they really did give my grandpa a hard time, and he tried his best to defeat some of them, but he wasn't very successful. And Makarov would sweat a little bit and say, "It's an army, kid. You really think you can take that S-class mission?" And Goku would beg Makarov to basically give him this mission. And he would sigh and say, "Do you need any equipment or do you need any assistance from any of the members of the Fairytale Guild?" And Goku would say, "No, I think I got this." "Well, take this." And Makarov would hand Goku a power pole. And Goku would look at it and say, "Oh, what's this?" And Makarov would say, "Okay, this is a power pole. It basically extends to however long you want it to, and it basically can work like a bow staff for you, Goku." And Goku is very familiar with bow staff as his grandpa had him train in those. But what Goku wasn't familiar with is how the power pole extended, but he didn't know how to control it as of yet. So Urza walking over saying, "Well, you can't go on an S-class mission without further mastering your weapons. And since Urza is a weapon expert, I'm going to have her train Goku in mastering the power pole." Goku made a few attempts at messing up using the power pole when he extended it, and it crashed into the fairy tale building. I mean, like it just went through the wall. And Goku would just scratch his head, letting out a little laugh and saying, "Sorry," with Kanna looking at Goku with an angry face and Mira Jane charging at Goku, with Goku just basically dodging and making fun of Mira Jane, saying, "You gotta be faster than that, Cal." And Goku was laughing and pissing Mira Jane off, and she's saying, "Get back here, you weird haired freak. And what's with that tail?" Mira Jane, and she would interrupt Urza's training with Goku, grabbing Goku's tail, and Goku would just flop to the ground and saying, "I have to." He looked at Mira Jane and say, "Oh, so this is your weakness. I'm gonna have fun with this." And Goku would look at Mira Jane and say, "I'm gonna have to do something about my tail." He would say it in his head, "I'm gonna have to do something about my tail. Because if my friends can grab my tail and I can just plop to the ground, that's a huge weakness for me." And okay, so I don't know where you guys want me to put that factor. Do you want me to have Goku keep his tail, or do you want me to cut Goku's tail off? Because that's in creating if you want him to keep the tail, there's going to be a huge plus to that side. But if you want it cut off, then the plus is gone. So, and do you want me to keep the weakness of the Saiyan tail for Goku, just so they have that just so it has like that drawback? Because you know how one of every Goku moves, they have a drawback, with Super Saiyan 3 being a huge stamina drain, or Super Saiyan Blue draining your stamina, or anything else. Like, do you want his tail to have a drawback, or do you want him to train to learn how to use his tail? Now, back to the story. So, with that, Goku mastered his power pole, and he would set off on his mission to go and destroy the Red Ribbon Army. When Goku gets to the Red Ribbon Army, he does the same events that he did in canon, wiping them out. And he would destroy their base, basically eradicating the Red Ribbon Army. And his name would be known around Fury, and it would pick up various amounts of guilds. Even the Phantom Lord Guild, or the Phantom Guild, they would bat an eye saying, "So there's a boy who just destroyed the Red Ribbon Army." And this would cause suspicion around, saying, "So who is this kid?" I know not who he is, but I know he's a part of Fairy Tale. So Makarov has got another strong ally. It seems that he loves adopting kids with extraordinary power. This might be one of the most strongest Fairy Tale members he's ever invited into his guild. So Goku would complete various amounts of S-class missions, and one mission Goku had a hard time completing, a very hard time completing. He even had to call Urza to help him, and Urza and Goku would be very good friends in this series. So Urza and Goku would be around best friend level, and Urza would come to help Goku, and Goku, she would bring the item that Goku needed. And this is the event, so let's explain the arc. So Goku would go up to the board, and Master Makarov would just be pacing back and forth as Goku was just now there. This is Goku at 12 years old. So this is now the time Natsu has joined and all the elements are playing around, and Natsu and Goku, well, most of the Fairy Tale members would say that Natsu and Goku were very similar to each other by the way they act. They just showed so much similarities with each other. And the fact that they're both parentless. Like, nobody knows Makarov doesn't even know who Grandpa Gohan is. And I'm sure most people would, but not him. And I don't even think Natsu's just looking for Igneo, trying to find out where he is. Now, the mission that I wanted to put them on is the Demon King Piccolo. So Demon King Piccolo, yes, the lookout is still a thing. The tournament is still a thing. Okay, everything is not going to be technological in the Dragon Ball Z thing like that, the arcs and everything. I'm stuttering. But the tournament and Demon King Piccolo and the Dragon Balls, all that is going to be relatively the same. Those aspects, I'm implementing the Dragon Balls. I like the Dragon Balls, and I feel like you can't have a Goku story without Demon King Piccolo and the Dragon Balls. So yes, intertwined. So with that, this would start the saga of Demon King Piccolo, and Demon King Piccolo would go around terrorizing a bunch of other guilds. Even the Phantom Lord Guild wouldn't have tried to go combat against Demon King Piccolo. But there was this one kid that kept foiling his plans, that kept messing up all his work. And Demon King Piccolo decided to use the Dragon Balls to make himself younger, and he wanted to approach this kid as to the person. Goku challenged Demon King Piccolo, sort of an idiotic thing on Goku's part, and seeming as if Urza told Goku that he wasn't ready. Even Mira Jane told Goku, and this was a serious Mira Jane. She wasn't playing around. She would look at Goku and say, "Goku, you know you're not ready to face this guy. You know he's taken out multiple people, even killed. Did you see what he did to all those innocent villagers, and you're still trying to challenge him? Well, I just can't let him run around and commit acts like he has free will just to kill people. His villainy, his terrorism has to stop. And if I don't do it, who will?" Goku's just like, he's clenching his fists and gritting his teeth and saying, "Nothing you say or will say will stop me. I'm going to stop Demon King Piccolo." And Goku would turn his back walking off, and Urza would say, "Well, I'm coming with you." And Goku would say, "You don't have to put yourself in danger." She would say, "Blah, blah, blah, you're my friend. And we look out for each other." And Goku would say, but you know it's going to be dangerous." And Urza would look at him and say, "Oh, well, I'm looking forward to seeing just how strong this so-called Demon King Piccolo is. If he's that frightening, he might even be as frightening as Jalal." Urza would say in her head. As her and Goku would arrive at the battlefield, and I'm not going to introduce any of the Z Fighters or anything like that. Basically, the Fairytale Guild and Grateful Buster and all them, those are your Z Fighters there. Those are the Z Fighters there. So everything that played out, Krillin, Bulma, none of them are going to be implemented into this story. I'm not going to put everything into this story. As I said, only little aspects. So the Lookout is alive, Kami, Piccolo, and Goku. Anything else? No. That's it. But let's continue. So Urza and Goku would be fighting Demon King Piccolo, because I'm just going to call him Piccolo. Piccolo would be getting tired of Goku foiling with his plans over and over and over again. And he would basically laugh and saying, "So, this child, you're remarkable. You got in the way of my plans over and over and over again. And I'm astonished a child got this far foiling my plans. But this comes to an end, boy." Goku would rush at Demon King Piccolo. Well, King Piccolo. He would rush at King Piccolo and punch him, but Piccolo would grab his fist and twirl Goku around, basically kicking him, having him skip rock across the terrain and land into the nearest boulder, with Urza hitting King Piccolo on his left flank with her swords. She would hit Demon King Piccolo's left flank with a strong sword attack. And I'm not going to have Urza do any like sword transformations as to, I don't think she mastered that power yet as a kid. Because like she's not a kid, well basically a teenager, boy, however you want to put it. But so her and Goku would basically double team King Piccolo, the best strategy that they could, until they were overwhelmed heavily, beaten badly, battle damaged. Goku and Urza were. Urza would throw Goku something that seems to rejuvenate his whole body, called sacred water or healing water. Let me know in the comments what that water was called that Goku drunk that helped him give him an amp. So Goku and Demon King Piccolo would resume their battle with a final clash. Goku on the outskirts, him and King Piccolo were fighting it all out, going blow for blow as Goku landed two devastating blows to Demon King Piccolo's jaw. He broke his leg, and King Piccolo would grab Goku and slam, like throw him into the terrain, like throw him into the grassy area as Goku would land, creating a crater. Goku would look at Demon King Piccolo and he would try to charge up some kind of ki blast, but Goku would launch himself off the ground with a Kamehameha, not a Kamehameha wave, like a ki blast, and he would launch himself towards King Piccolo with his fist active, and you see this ferocious roaring ape behind Goku, and Goku's just yelling out, "Ah!" as he rams straight through King Piccolo's stomach, chest area. But before dying, King Piccolo would spit out an egg and launch it into some unknown area. And Goku would fall down, heavily battle damaged and breathing heavily it's over. Goku and Urza would then return to the Fairytale Guild. They would then return to where they They returned to the Fairytale Guild, let Makarov know the news, and Goku said he needs to train. And him and Urza would be going on a specific mission. He wanted to take Urza with him to go on this mission to help him out with his training and everything. And as to sorts, he felt a sort of high attraction to Urza, and that's where the ship is going. Urza and Goku, just because I like how battle smart Goku is. Well, not battle smart, like how battle tactic Urza is, and she's saying like strong-willed woman, and Urza is a strong-willed woman, so yeah, we're going that route. So her and Goku would leave off for their training, and this is the training where Goku would basically grow up. So that training, so Goku right now, Goku right now is like 14, I would say, because he was 12, so 2 years had passed since he's joined the Fairytale Guild. So 14, Goku would be around the age of 21 when he returned to the Fairytale Guild. So Urza, she returned very earlier than what Goku had, so she returned around when she was 17 years old, but Goku stayed doing his training and everything, and she wouldn't see Goku for another few years. So with that, we're now entering the arc of when Natsu had Lucy Harfilia join the Fairytale Guild. And this is when Goku would return off his training to let everybody know that a tournament's coming up and that they should join. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this Fairy Tale Dragon Ball crossover. And if you want a part 2 to this story, let me know with that like button. However many likes this video gets, depending on if you would see a future what if of this series. So anyway, without any further ado, you guys have a good day, a good night, and you already know the deal. Plus Ultra. Good night, guys.